Bienvenidos a El Chuco Sportscast con tus anfitriones MarkTep25 y RedMT25. ¿Qué pasó, mi gente? It's MarkTep25 otra vez. Bienvenidos a un otro episodio del Chuco Sportscast, episodio 33. So today we're going to try and see if we can kind of speed through this a little bit because I have a little bit of an engagement at 1 o'clock. So I'm going to try to talk about this. And I know last time some of y'all kind of left the chat in Spotify Greenroom a little early, but please be a little patient. I know a lot of you prefer the NBA and NFL content, but I kind of want to at least talk about other things too, like the NHL and the MLB. But it won't be too long though, so bear with us. For those of you that are going to be watching on the YouTube video, let's share this. As always, we start with the Spanish word of the day, palabra del día. And para hoy, el 30 de octubre es el alarido, which means the shriek. Por ejemplo, alguien llamó a la policía porque escuchó alaridos saliendo de la casa, which means someone called the police because they heard shrieks coming out of the house. Ooh, scary. Me asusté un poquito. Me asustó. Okay, so in essence, that's one example. El otro ejemplo es, el actor tuvo que dar varios alaridos en la película de terror, which means the actor had to give several shrieks in the horror movie. That is commitment, sir. Pero, ándale pues, that is your Spanish lesson for today. We always like to, educate a little bit. And entendemos que no somos perfectos en nuestro idioma, pero estamos practicando cada día. We're always learning. So that is Spanish word of the day. Now let us move on to the Nhl Standings. At the current moment, there's at least been 8 or 9 games played. So as far as the Eastern Conference, on top of the Atlantic Division, we have the Florida Panthers at 8-0 with no overtime losses, 16 points. Goals, I guess goals attempted versus goals made, or I guess goals. I forget what F means because I'm still getting used to the hockey stuff. But overall, they're pretty much perfect thus far. Then, as far as the rest of the team, the Sabres are 5-1 with 1 overtime loss. Red Wings 4-2 with 2 overtime losses. Lightning 4-3-1. Maple Leafs 3-4-1. Bruins 3-3-0. Senators 2-4-0. Canadians 2-6-0. As far as the Metropolitan Division, the Hurricanes are perfect in their division at 7-0 with 14 points, 31 goals fielded, and 11 goals attempted, which is a pretty good differential, like 20 point differential. That's pretty amazing. So the Capitals are behind them with 5-0-3. So they have, I think they have 1 win streak going on right now. So it's like they don't have true losses, but they have overtime losses, which kind of kills them a little bit. The Rangers are 5-2-1, Flyers 4-4-1, Penguins 3-2-2, Blue Jackets. Whoops, I think I skipped. So I said Flyers 4-4-1, Penguins 3-2-2, Blue Jackets 4-3-0, Islanders 6-3-2. Oh no, sorry, 3-2-1. I misread that. I accidentally put the number of games played. And then 3-2-0 for the New Jersey Devils at the current moment. So now, as far as that's the Atlantic or Eastern Conference, now let's look at the Western Conference. The St. Louis Blues are 5-1-0 with 1 loss, I think, coming in the last game. The Wild are 5-2-0. The Jets are 4-2-1. Our Dallas Stars are 3-3-1. They're kind of like in the middle of the pack overall. They've been doing okay, but they've been struggling to at least get certain wins. Their differentials lacking. The Predators 3-4-0. Avalanche same, so they're tied in their division. The Blackhawks, wow, that is crazy. The Blackhawks have no wins, and neither do the Arizona Coyotes. Say, híjole, that's bad. 0-6-2 and 0-7-1. My buddy, he's a huge Blackhawks fan, he's not going to be happy with that shit. So the Flames, Calgary Flames are 5-1-1. Oilers 5-1-0. Sharks 4-3-0. The new Seattle Kraken that just came out this year are 3-4-1. The Canucks tied for 3-4-1. Golden Knights 3-4-0. I think our last game was against the Golden Knights and we lost. Or actually, no. I think, oh shoot, who did we play? It was an Eastern Conference team. I forget who though. But yeah, the Golden Knights 3-4-0. Ducks. Man, I'm also a Ducks fan, so it's kind of sad to see how they're doing 2-4-2, and then the LA Kings 1-5-1. So that's your current standings for the NHL. So now let's move on quickly to the MLB. It is currently the World Series, and right now, Atlanta leads the series 2-1. As far as the overall game, the Atlanta Braves scored in the bottom of the third for their first points. Then they scored again in the bottom of the eighth, and yeah, pretty much outed the Astros on that one. So let's see what happens. Let's see if the Houston Astros can respond to the Braves after the fact. It seemed like they had a pretty strong series against the, the Boston Red Sox, but it just seems like the Braves seem to have their number thus far. Who knows? Anything can happen in the World Series. As as dudes from Texas, we hope that Texas teams win. But of course, everyone has that stigma against the Houston Astros for cheating in the World Series some years back. But hey, it is what it is. It would be nice if the Braves did win, because I think it's been almost, I think almost 60 years since they won a World Series or something like that, something crazy of that nature. Pero
I mean, I'm not sure. That is that is also something to think about. I don't remember when the last time Atlanta was in the World Series or won. But I mean, I watched a good portion of that game yesterday, and you got to give Atlanta credit. They were able to keep Houston from not getting any hits. It was a completely a no hitter. uh, and usually Houston is really good when it comes
well,
to
it was almost a no hitter because I think they allowed 2 hits, but even then, that's near perfect.
yeah, it is. That's what I'm saying. And we know how good Houston can be, besides what happened a few years ago with them cheating, but usually they've been really good at coming back. So this is to for the Atlanta to keep them in check like that. Hey, that's impressive. So this is but still the series isn't over yet. Houston can come back. So we'll see. I have a feeling my prediction so far they've been really both teams have been really good since they were tied 1-1. I think I could probably see this going to 6 or 7 games if they're both at each other, if they both keep it up. So we'll see.
Yeah, well, like part of me, because I think right now the momentum is with the Braves, so I have a feeling Atlanta might take it within 6 games, but we'll see what happens. And for as though as híjole, no puedo hablar. As far as for those listening, Andres Vera, who's in the chat section of the Spotify Greenroom, thank you for staying on with us. Hopefully, we can bring you up soon to talk maybe a little bit. But let us move on to the NBA season as far as like the Dallas Mavericks. So the Dallas Mavericks lost pretty horribly yesterday. They lost. Sorry, let me refresh that. They lost by a 31 point margin. It was pretty abysmal. I was thoroughly embarrassed and extremely frustrated because this team, like, not much has really changed. And again, as I stated in a previous podcast episode, they've really just made lateral movements. They didn't really do anything to truly improve. And it's sad because I tried to keep an open mind at the beginning of the season, but I'm sorry, I can't. I really cannot. Because it's just I knew this crap was gonna happen. As soon as I saw that no true movements were made, that we just picked up basically Knicks players, and not to say that like Frank Ntilikina has been okay, but I don't know. I have to see a little bit more from him before I really make any judgment on that. And just I've said this many times, and I tried to give him a chance last year, and he was doing well, but now it's just I can't stand it anymore. Dwight Powell is not a starting player. Like, why? Why do we continue to do this to ourselves? Put Dwight Powell on the fucking bench and start somebody who's more willing. And I know Moses Brown like got blocked yesterday. But he's younger and he at least got a blocked, and he at least tried. He at least was willing to make an effort. Dwight Powell is just too undersized and just not strong enough to guard Nikola Jokic. And it's stupid to me because kid he puts Boban Marjanovic in to guard Nikola Jokic, but then as soon as Nikola Jokic is off the floor, he kept him in there. You don't do that. Like, they went with a smaller lineup. Why would you keep your giant, who is a little bit slower, to play against a smaller ball lineup? What kind of stupidity is that? And this is exactly why I did not want Jason Kidd as a coach, because he makes very weird decisions. Like, we gave Rick Carlisle, well, at least I did. I gave Rick Carlisle crap last year, but at least it wasn't like this. And granted, Rick Carlisle's Pacers are not doing well this season either, but at least they're not getting fucking blown out, dude. Like, come on.
Yeah, I mean, I understand that. Like, but just remember, we're only 5 games into the regular season. There's still a lot of basketball to be played. Yes, this was the worst game we've seen of them thus far. This is like the most embarrassing because I watched part of the game at work yesterday, and I was like, dude, I have never seen them. All these guys can shoot. We all know they can shoot, but I just
Eh,
couldn't believe how bad they were shooting last night. It's like, dude, just how can you be shooting this bad? And look, it is really tough. Most teams have a really hard time when it comes playing against Denver because it's just a hard environment to play in because you're up, you're a mile high up, and more times than not, many teams struggle to win against the Nuggets. But we've seen the Mavs in the past hang with Denver. So for them to be blown out like this is just, come on, guys. That was unacceptable. I mean, I've never seen such poor shooting in my life than last night. And there was one point I think it was the third quarter. The Nuggets had 38 points in the paint as opposed to Dallas's 18. It's like, guys, if your shots are not going down, get in the paint, get the easy two. That I was just wow,
well, I mean, but dude, they force some shots, and Luka in general is just forcing passes. Like, there's passes he shouldn't need to make. Like, he has open fucking shots, and then he takes a last minute pass that either gets picked off or it gets turned over. Like, why? Why would you do that? And it's at this point where I'm guess I was wrong about the whole get your other teammates involved thing, because his teammates cannot. They just cannot help him. They cannot support him in the way they should. And it's just frustrating because, granted, I'm not going to let Luka off the hook on this one because he has also been extremely complacent. Like, he has not been the same. And a lot of people are saying, oh, well, it might be due to some smaller injury, and he's gained weight again. But see, in my opinion, and again, those are excuses. Those are excuses. What happened? He was fully healthy and in good shape when he was in the Olympics. Why did that change when he came back to the Mavs? Why? I need to understand why that happened. And everybody, and this is exactly why when we had that huge ass lead in the preseason, it's like, guys, it's cool, it's interesting, that's crazy, but it's the preseason. It's the preseason. And I knew that this shit was gonna bite us back in the ass as soon as the season started. And even when the games that they won, they haven't been that good. They've made stupid mistakes. They are not shooting well at all. Luka, once again, is taking the brunt of the fucking responsibility. And even then, he's still kind of passive. And it's just not a good recipe. And like, Coach Kidd's rotations just don't make any fucking sense. And once again, stagnant ball movement. The passes, like, it's one thing to pass the ball, but it's another thing to pass the ball with an actual purpose and goal in mind. And that's what this does not seem to be happening with this team. And again, another thing, the shooting again is they're below 40%. I think Mavs Draft on Twitter. If you all don't follow him, please follow him. He has a lot of good information. They're below 40% this season and a below 100 offensive rating. That is unacceptable for a team a couple years ago that had probably the most historic offense in the league. How do you go from having one of the best offenses to having a good defense? Or, I mean, shit, I can't even really say that. I mean, to be, like, what happened to the balance of this? And again, we can blame the previous administration, if you will, which they do have a huge hand in it. But Mark Cuban has not done shit to really correct the ship here. He has not listened to fans. He gets annoyed when fans try to call him out on his bullshit, even though the fans are pretty much right. Sorry, they are. They're fucking right. Like, why would you hire a coach who has a history of not being that good? We've seen it. We've seen it. And yesterday I was on Kirk Henderson's Mavs Moneyball podcast. He does a segment called Group Therapy. Group therapy. That's pretty. I mean, we all pretty much need it at this point. But yeah, like he there was a guy that explained. Look, he coached the Nets, and he coached the Bucks for 3 years, and nothing really came of it. So how is it that, like, how is one season of him being an assistant coach the reason to hire him as a coach, given his prior history to that? Like, that's ridiculous. You know, it makes no sense. Like, use your common sense. Why would you go after a guy who has not good coaching experience when you had definite other options? And I said this throughout other podcasts throughout the preseason and last year's postseason. Like, we had options, and we still ended up with the worst possible option.
Well, I mean, I don't have the answer for you either, man, but the season is still young. There's still a lot of games to be played. I mean, we are with the staff and players that we have. You got to make it work. So only we'll find out once we get to the end of the season where how everything worked out. And I just feel I don't know. Part of me feels like it's still too early to judge what's going on right now because it's only 5 games as of right now. But I understand your frustration and everyone's frustration is like you shouldn't be. You're 3-2 as of right now. That's not terrible, but based on what you guys are showing or what they're showing is just it's subpar.
It's
Like you said,
abysmal way.
yeah, I know it is abysmal. I mean, under 40%. We haven't seen them. We haven't seen them ever that low ever since we started following the Mavs when we were kids.
Well, I
Ever.
mean,
That's why I'm
in all
like,
honesty, they actually have had one season where it was kind of similar, and I think that was in 2013, if I'm not mistaken. But even then,
right,
like they
but I
still
mean,
had potential to be better.
I know, but over the course of now, I guess what about 20 years, more or less, we started following over the course of 20 years since we've been following the Mavs. I mean, 98% of the time, or let's say 99% of the time, they've been exceptional. So for them to, play this horribly, look, Mark Cuban, he's the owner. Yes, he has control over who he hires, who he fires, and stuff like that. But I mean, yes, some of the responsibility is him, but it's mostly on the front office because they really control the basketball side of things. Mark Cuban just handles the business side. So to put it all
Eh,
on Cuban, I don't agree with. It's gonna fall mostly on the front office, the general manager and VP of operations. I mean, and yes, he hired them, so that's also on him. But it's like it's across the entire organization, especially the front office, how things are going. And then this guy that you and I were talking about a few
Nico
podcasts.
Harrison,
No,
what?
the no, that other guy, the Brook,
Bulgaris?
yeah, Bulgaris. You know, I just don't think he should be a part of that organization.
No, he's been gone. I don't know what you're talking about. He's been gone.
Oh, he is gone. Okay, that
Yeah,
I
dude.
didn't.
We talked about that in the I think a couple of podcasts ago. He's been
Okay, I
gone.
don't. Sorry, I don't remember. I thought he was still there because I just feel like he was a thorn in the side of the organization. Being a former, was it what was he a gambler? A gambler. That's what he was, and just gambling on shit. Just I just didn't sit right with me to have someone like that on. So I'm okay. Sorry, I apologize. I thought he was still there. I just didn't remember. But yeah, Nico Harrison, like I said, he's a brand new guy to this. We got to give him a shot. So, like I said, we'll only find out where we really stand. I don't know how to put this. I'll give my honest, more thorough opinion. Let's say midway through the season, and I'll say, okay, this isn't working, and some changes will have to be made. But like I said, I just feel it's a little too early. But last night was not, it was not acceptable at all.
Ok, pero la única cosa es, no estoy de acuerdo contigo, especialmente con Cuban, güey. Like, esta es la cosa. The problem with Cuban is he's turning to be too much like Jerry Jones now. Like he is doing way too fucking much. And he's making all these yes men because, oh, we won a championship together in 2011. I knew these moves weren't going to do shit. They're not. And here's the problem, like what's crazy to me, and I heard this on the Mavs Moneyball podcast yesterday with Kirk Henderson. I think his name was Jose. He came on and spoke a little bit about the Cowboys, and I don't know, I don't know how his sources are. I mean, I kind of take things for what they are, but he was explaining how the Cowboys this season have been currently operating, and it seems like Jerry Jones has actually shut the fuck up for the most part, which is fucking important
And
because
I'm glad.
it seems like Cuban has now become the Jerry Jones here. And you can see how that's negatively affecting things. And again, you can say, oh, it's early. But bro, here's the problem. En el año pasado, güey, fue lo mismo. It was the fucking same. Like they started off very rough. And that cannot happen every year because it's like, recuerdo, dude, somos músicos. We're musicians. And we know for a fact that the onset, the first note is the most important thing when starting a song, right?
The first and last note are the most important things.
Yeah, but the thing is,
Yeah.
dude, like the start of the season has been ridiculous for the Mavs, especially Luka right now. He does
I
not
know.
look the same and again, everyone keeps putting him for MVP discussions. And
It's still too early for that, man.
no, but I'm just telling you, dude, every year, I mean, the past couple of years now, that's been the thing. They keep putting him up for MVP discussions. And at this point, and this may be a hot take, but I'm getting to the point where if he keeps playing this way every fucking year, I don't ever see him winning an MVP. Like, I don't see it. If this is how he's going to continue to be, always coming out of shape from the offseason, that's not going to get it done. And again, maybe Luka seems to find a way. I have faith in him, but it just is frustrating for a guy of his supposed caliber to be like this. And maybe there's underlying issues I don't see. And again, everyone likes to claim, oh, well, it could be an injury that's hindering him. But it's like, how many more times are we going to keep using the excuse of injuries?
It's not injuries. I can tell you that right now. He's not playing. He doesn't look injured. He doesn't even look out of shape to me. I don't know what people are talking about.
Nah, dude, he does look. If you look at pictures of him in the Olympics versus him now, he does look out of shape comparatively. He does. He looks a lot thicker, face and body. In the Olympics, he looked a lot thinner. So I think he doesn't look very much in shape. And the same look, because look at James Harden. James
Unless he
Harden,
put on, I'm just saying, unless he put on muscle, I don't know. But
nah, dude, that ain't muscle, bro. You can look at him and you could tell that shit ain't muscle.
I can't see the difference right
Bro,
now. But
yo soy un gordo. And we know gordos, way. I'm a fucking gordo, and I know a gordo when I see one. No, en serio, way. And this is not to shame him, way. This is not to shame him. But again, dude, es tu pinche ocupación. This is your occupation. You have to be in shape. And this is the thing. He's not Shaq. Like it's different if you're a guy like Shaq who can throw his fucking weight around, but you're supposed to be like a small forward posing as a guard, and you can't get it done with that kind of weight, man. That's just all I'm saying. Like again, I have faith that he will be okay, but it's the rest of the team.
He's gonna be fine, dude. I know he's gonna be fine. I'm not worried about him, but like I said, like you said, it's like the chemistry doesn't seem to be in sync. Like they're not gelling enough. So there may be still some disconnect in the locker room with the new change of coaching staff and the players are trying to get used to the new system. That always happens when you get a new coach, new staff, brings in a new system compared to what you're used to doing. So, like I said, to me, I can't judge him yet. I
I
It's
don't
still
know,
too
dude.
early. It's still too early in the season. Get back to me halfway through the season, then I'll give you what I believe. And as far as for Luca, he's gonna be fine. I still think he's MVP caliber, but not until we get maybe 3 quarters through the season will I probably have to evaluate whether or not he's still worthy of being off still worthy of getting MVP.
Well, the thing is, he'll get votes, but the problem is the team in general. I don't think is going to win enough for him to actually get in like top 3 in the voting. That's the problem. And then also the only bright spark off of this is really, I mean, Neil Aquino's okay, and Brunson has done really well, but I
Yeah.
don't know what happened, dude. Tim Hardaway kind of fell off a bit. Maybe it's due to the rotations, but I don't know, man. Like Hardaway was a little bit more aggressive and a little bit more consistent last year than this year, but hopefully that turns around. But then with KP, dude, even when he was healthy, quotation marks, healthy, he wasn't showing up well, dude. Like he had one decent game, but even then, I'm like, I don't know. Like the only bright spot for him is his defense. He's kind of changed it a little bit, and he's gotten like quite a few blocks when he was healthy. But I don't know, man. Like his offense leaves a lot to be desired, and that's what the Mavs need right now. They need a secondary player that can create their shot, that can create offense, and that's not happening. And I don't know. We'll see what happens. He has uh, back like tightness in his lower back apparently. Whether that's, and again, once again, I don't mean to seem like I'm trying to slander anybody, but seeing pretty much him and like just how he's been playing, I don't think it's really tightness. I think they're just keeping him off for a bit to like evaluate him, really kind of talk to him and be like, dude, get your shit together. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. And maybe he is injured, but it just something's not
Uh,
right. Something's not right. And
It could be a mental thing, man. I'm not sure. More than a physical thing. Sometimes I wonder. I notice a lot of big men, especially those from Europe. Uh, I just don't. They seem to struggle. Some have seemed to struggle when they first come into the NBA. I don't know if it's because of the way the game is, how different the game is played, the environment, what. But I've noticed that a lot of big guys. I mean, and big guy for a big guy, even some of our guys from here even struggle because it's a fast-paced sport. You played it, and a lot of big guys when you're bigger, heavier, it's harder to move. You're prone to getting injured because some maneuvers that smaller, lighter guys are able to do. I just don't know what it is. I um I don't know, man. I just always wondering, but I've seen a lot of big guys here and over in Europe struggle to, like, I don't know, adapt to the new way of how the NBA is. I don't know, it's because it's a harder, fast paced version of basketball compared to maybe other countries. I don't know. What do you think?
nah, dude, I don't agree with that because especially nowadays, most Europeans have been dominating the league. I mean, look at Giannis, look at Jokic. They've dominated the league the past couple of years now. And I don't buy into the whole European players
I don't
can't
know.
adjust.
I don't know. But you've seen some big guys from all around. Some have struggled, and it's tough on big players to play that fast pace because, like you said, you look at Boban, he's trying, but even though he's still a slow guy. You looked at what happened with Yao Ming, big guy, but he got injured quite a lot.
Yeah,
So
but the league was a little different at that time. Yao Ming just his injury proneness. I mean, he was at least stocky enough to like well, not stocky isn't like fat, but like he had a good center of gravity, so where he can at least move and at least be a presence in the paint. Like he gave Shaq problems. So I mean, it's just a completely different look that the league is now because look at the way the legs look on half of these players. Everyone's all super freaking skinny in the legs. And it makes me wonder, like, why would you let yourself? I get it for more athleticism and more lift and just quicker speed, but those guys are getting injured way more now that I'm
so
seeing
then
it.
Yeah, then if they're not, because what do you use to play in basketball? You need your legs. You got to be able to move quickly, stop, jump, reach the ball, and safely come down. Of course. So if that's the case, then it has to do something with their training. Then if they're your legs have to be solid, strong, and if that means having to put muscle on it to make sure that when you go for the ball or be able to defend, your legs have got to be, as our mom would use, they got to be like tree trunks. You got to be able to stand your ground. So
And here's the
I think it's the
problem.
training, man.
I mean, but see, I'm not gonna go that far because I'm not a trainer. I don't claim to be anything. Mire, no soy atlético, mire. I'm not
I
fucking
know.
athletic or anything.
I'm
But I'm not gonna purport to know much about that. But that's at least my opinion. The fact that it just seems that there's a lot more injuries with the way they're physically built. I don't know what.
well,
Maybe it is training. Maybe it is just something else. I don't know what it
well,
is.
well. That's the only answer I can come up with is the way the players are being trained. That's all. How the way you train is the way you play. So that I'm sure that's a big part of it. So some things that they got to evaluate in order, because if you train wrong, if you train your body the wrong way, you're going to get hurt a lot more often. You look what happened to Derrick Rose. I think we discussed this before. He
Well,
used to not train properly, and that's how and the way he would jump and come down is how he messed up his knees.
mhm.
So that's why I'm saying, like, if I think that's one of the reasons why a lot of players, especially big players, that's how they get hurt a lot more often than not. And I feel that that's probably what KP's issues. I think it's the way he's being trained. It could be just a mental thing, and he just doesn't want to get hurt again, to where he's out on a long period of time. Who knows? But something the approach of how they play the game, how they prepare for the game, needs to be evaluated so that way that doesn't happen. So
Yeah, I mean, I hope things turn around, and I hope I'm wrong about the way the season is going. But I'm at the point where I think they're going to be a play-in team, given the way the Mavericks are playing. So I mean, hopefully that changes. But I'm not confident. I'm not confident in Kid. I'm not confident in Luca's players like that he has on his team, aside from maybe Hardaway, maybe Brunson, and I don't know. You just gotta have to play with things at this point because, and granted, again, yeah, you say it is early, but for something to be this abysmal this quickly can really derail you if you don't correct ship quickly enough, especially since you have teams like the Kings and the Grizzlies coming up. Like they have made, and the Timberwolves are starting to make some strides now. So
good, good. Yeah.
that's scary for the Mavs. So
Yeah.
hopefully something works out and that they make at least some sort of move, because I mean the whole thing with Dwight Powell, I'm tired of it. Like he's not a starter. So they need to do something else. But anyway, let's move on because I don't want to take too much time. Well, actually, before we move on, I want to see if anybody would like to. I mean, the only person we have in the chat right now is still Andres. Uh, if you need to raise your hand, you're more than welcome to come speak with us if you'd like. And also, another gentleman just came in, Emmanuel. Sorry. If you want to come in and speak with us a little bit as we kind of talk about the next things, just raise your hand and I'll pull you up. Um, but yeah, I'll keep a lookout for that. So right now, I kind of want to just talk about the Eastern and Western Conference currently within the NBA before we move on to NFL. Oh, Emmanuel says I was just roaming around. That's no problem, man. You're more than welcome to just listen. Um, in the future, hopefully, we can get more, you know, just conversation, and it's totally fine. We're here to kind of just talk and all that. So as far as the Western Conference is looking out right now, the Jazz are 4-0. Warriors are 4-1. And see, a lot of people were sleeping on the Warriors. Everybody kept saying, the Warriors aren't going to be nothing without Clay. But, Damian Lee and, oh my God, who's that other guy that's been shooting really well? Oh my God. It'll come back to me in a minute.
Well, but that's funny. They say that Clay Thompson has been out in the past before, and they were able to get by without him. So it's just like I don't see how that argument holds any water. Sorry.
Oh, Jordan Poole. That's who it is. Jordan Poole. And they also have Otto Porter Jr., who's been playing well. But you know who's been a really big surprise? Nemanja Bjelica. He's been very good this year. Like he's been kind of low key a very good player as far as offensively.
Yeah,
And
they got a stacked team, and I didn't even know Wiggins was with them now. Wow.
no, Wiggins was with them since like the past couple of years. It's just Wiggins. I mean, and he's gotten a lot better as far as a defensive player. So
Oh, wow.
that's kind of good for them. The
Yeah, I didn't notice.
Timberwolves, yeah, the Timberwolves are 3-1, as I stated earlier. I mean, Mavs are fourth place. Wherever they end up, I think at the most they are either again a playing team at the worst, at the best probably fourth where they're at now. So let's just kind of
Mhm.
see how it plays on that point. The Grizzlies are 3-2, tied with the Mavs. Um, and yeah, I'm a little worried about them. John Morant has really come around. Jaren Jackson Jr. is a really good player, and he's a decent shooter. Desmond Bain, who again I will contest that they should have fucking drafted, has been playing very well. So I don't understand why people were making it seem, oh well, we gotta give Josh a chance. Dude, here's the problem. We knew, and they were he was on their draft boards, and they still didn't go for him. That's what's frustrating. It's like the Mavs are purposefully shooting themselves in the foot. I gotta stop because I'm getting a little too worked up over this. Okay, so now Los Reyes, the Kings, they're also 3-2. So there's like a 4 or 5 week tie at the current moment of 3-2 with Mavericks, Grizzlies, Kings, Nuggets, who just beat the Mavs yesterday, Trailblazers, and then the Lakers surprisingly have had a slow start. LeBron has been out a couple of games. Westbrook has been very. It's been strange. He's had a couple of good games, but he's been very inefficient, and that's part of the reason they haven't done well. Westbrook's
Again.
inefficiency. So I
Uh,
mean, I think they did win yesterday, so they kind of are back to 500. I don't foresee the Lakers staying there that long, but Westbrook has got to make some adjustments in order to help the Lakers succeed. Because I mean, granted, they've done well considerably, but even then, I think Westbrook needs to figure out how to fit within all of this. And
he
hopefully
needs
he
to be a
does.
team player, man.
And it's
You know
not that
this.
he look, listen, it's not that he isn't, because he's making passes. It's just again, his deal is he makes very errant passes, and then he takes shots that don't need to be taken. I mean, he's starting to do a little bit more off-ball movement, which is a good sign. But I don't know. It's again, like you said, it's similar situation. It's earlier in the season, and again, there's a lot of moving pieces within this that Fogel has to look into.
Right, I know, but I don't want Westbrook to be falling back into his old habits, trying to take it all on himself, and be very selfish with the ball. That's what I don't want. Yeah, that's what would always, kill his season with the teams he's been on. So I just hope that, hey, you got to have a little bit more faith. Try to work with your players as much as possible. Your teammate, that's what your team. Don't forget that. So that's what I would hope, that he doesn't revert back to what he has done in the past.
Yeah. And then as far as the Suns, they were last year's runner up in
Runner.
the finals, and they seem to be struggling a bit. They've had a couple of good games, but again, a couple of them just ended up in losses. And then the one game I think they beat the Lakers. And then the Rockets, they've had some good pieces, like good young pieces, but again, it's just they're too young. Christian Wood can only do so much, and yeah, I mean, in general, if the Rockets can solve some issues that they have, this is a very good young team moving forward. The Clippers are struggling again. Paul George can only do so much. The Spurs, um, again, this is really the last hurrah for Greg Popovich. So I'm not expecting too much out of them this season. The Thunder, they've had a couple of good looks. I think they also beat the Lakers. They're another one of those weird teams that have beaten the Lakers. Or actually, no, wait, or was it one of those games that the Lakers came back and beat them? I don't know. I kind of forget. But the Thunder, they have some pieces that are interesting, but it just again, I just don't know what their exact direction is. They have all these fucking picks, so I think they're just gonna almost pull a Philly, but it won't be as successful because again, the draft odds are a little bit different in the way they're structured nowadays. The Pelicans, my God, I don't know what's happening. Zion is just in disarray. He's another player that apparently has gained a good amount of weight too. So we'll see if things turn around for them because I really I mean I don't know. I hope Zion can figure it out and this team can figure it out because I would hate to see Zion in a bad situation like every other player, like Anthony Davis and other players before him have been in. So we'll see what happens with there. So as far as standings. Hold on, let me go back to here. No, I hate when it does that. Okay, so Eastern Conference. We got the Knicks 4-1, which has been a very
Damn.
interesting surprise this season.
Nice.
And the Heat, I'm not surprised because they've been dealing with a lot of injuries last season. So I'm not surprised that the Heat are doing well. I kind of figured they would be at least top 4 this season. But yeah, the Knicks they've been off to a hot start, so good for
Good for
them.
them.
The
Yeah.
Wizards have done very well post Westbrook, so that's refreshing. I don't know how long that's going to last, but we'll see. And hopefully it does, because I would love to see the Wizards do well because it's been a while since they've had any sort of success. The Bulls and the Hornets have been a very good surprise this year as well. The Bulls 4-1, the Hornets 4-2. They were undefeated at one point, and then the Bulls I think recently lost. I forget to who it was, but they lost because of a weird DeRozan jumper that just airballed. So yeah, still a young team, but I think the Bulls are a team that is not to be messed with. The Hornets have been doing well. LaMelo Ball and Bridges, I think Miles Bridges, has done very well with this team, and Gordon Hayward has been a pretty good like spark as well. The Bucks, I know it seems a little strange right now, but I think when things get back into center field, I think the Bucks will be okay. It seems like both of the two teams that were in the finals are struggling at the gate, but I think it'll be okay. The Hawks are also 3-2. They've struggled a little bit late. And I'll get to something in a moment before we move on to the NFL after we talk about this. The Hawks are 3-2. The Sixers are 3-2. Embiid and the Sixers have struggled a little bit, and Ben Simmons still has not played yet, and things are still up in the air of what's going to happen with Ben Simmons. I mean, he's at the practices, but he's not really playing, so I don't know. The Nets have kind of struggled again because James Harden has not played too well. Some people think it's because of the new rule changes about, you know, baiting people into fouls. I think that's part of it, but it's also just other aspects. The Cavaliers are 3-3. They're kind of middle of the pack with the Raptors and the Nets. They've had some interesting games that they've played very well. I mean, they didn't do too well against LA yesterday. The Celtics are a bit of a kind of a shocker to me because the Celtics lost some games that I thought they should have won, but I don't know. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Celtics. I don't think this is permanent. I think they can find a way back, but I don't know. Marcus Smart has kind of fallen off a bit. Brown and Tatum are going to do what they need to do. The Magic are 1-5, again, still a young team. And I think Mosley was the assistant coach for the Mavs last year, and he can only do so much. And he's, for what it's worth, he's doing okay. I mean, it's his first year. And then Rick Carlisle's Pacers. Again, I try not to wish any ill will, but again, I'm sorry. Like I was not fond of Rick Carlisle's style of coaching. And granted, yeah, the Mavericks are no better, but I think even if we had Carlisle still, I think the result would have still been slightly the same. Maybe slightly better, but even then, I think they would still have lost the games that they lost. So it is what it is. It's partially the team, it's partially the coach. The Pistons are 0-4. Again, I don't think Cade Cunningham has played just yet. I think he had a small injury himself. And again, this Pistons team is just it's a hard road for them. We'll see what happens. But overall, yeah, this is how the East and the West have been shaping out, and it's going to be a very interesting season. I'm very intrigued by the current outlooks. Whether these standings remain the same by the end, I will not know. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. And like I said, there's been a rule change again about foul baiting, and some players, like I think earlier in the preseason, Curry tried to do a shot that he jumps into the player and they didn't call it. And there's been a lot of fouls and non-fouls for Harden. Harden has struggled, and it's partially because of that, because he had like probably one of the least, like his worst free throw attempts since he's been playing, because he had like almost 19 attempts not 19 attempts, but like something somewhere like 14 or 15 attempts per game, and he barely even had that within the first 4 or 5 games. So that was crazy to see. Whether they were kind of targeting him a little bit or not, I don't know. He did well yesterday. I think they had like 19. He had 19 free throw attempts, so I don't know if they were trying to like make up for the other calls, but I don't know. And I'm not going to speculate that because I don't think that's fair. I don't think that's fair at all. But I just Harden is going to find a way. If if you're a true superstar, you find a way to make it work. And I think Harden is going to find his way.
No,
It's
he will. He
yeah.
will.
I hate when people say he's washed or he's a fluke. It's like no, he's not. Like, and again,
Fluke.
there's been plenty of statistics that show he is not. Like he has very good percentages even without his free throw shooting. So let's cut that shit out. Like Harden is a great player.
I mean, have they not watched him play for the last what 10 seasons?
And look,
Come
granted,
on,
there's some
man.
things I do admit that yeah, sometimes he does foul bait, but that doesn't mean that's all his game is. And yes, sometimes he gets away with certain plays that I think should be travels, but that doesn't mean everything he does is a travel. I think people highlight the negatives and don't accentuate the positives on that one. So I don't know.
Right. No, I mean, and what do you mean by foul bending? It's like when a defender jumps to try to block a shot and then he jumps into him. Is that what you're trying?
Yeah. When an
Yeah.
offensive player tries to jump into the defensive player to draw a foul, and that happened for a long time. And then yeah, they've corrected it this year, but there's a lot of players complaining about it, which I mean to some extent I can see it, but to the majority of the extent no, because for the longest time the league has tried to put pretty much emphasis on more offense that it's kind of killed defenses. And now that they're trying to give a little bit back, like power back to the defenses, now these offensive players are complaining. Nah, man, if you know what to do, you know how to get through it. And I don't know why Trey Young is complaining because he's still putting up some good numbers even without all that. So I don't know why he's complaining.
Y- Yeah, man. I mean, that always get to me when, you know, of course you're trying to, you know, come up with an offensive play. You know, you fake the defender like he's going to jump up to try to block you, and then you intentional. You can tell it's intentional. You jump into the play, draw the foul out. I was like, man, that's not cool. To like, man, you did that. It's like, he's trying to do a clean block. All he could do is just freaking fake him, go around him, and try to either score a basket or pass it to a player that is open. And for them to complain, it's like, bro, you guys have been getting away with that kind of call for a long time. And yeah, maybe it has inflated your offensive numbers, like as far as going to the line to get free throws or not what. And that it's like, but so, like you said, there's some players that are doing fine without it. So you shouldn't really be complaining about it.
Well, I mean, in general, like, yes, it's an exploitation of the rule that has happened for a while. But in my opinion, I think that they're fine. I think it's a good thing that this happened because it was becoming an issue. It literally
Yeah.
was.
Yeah.
So, and Luca has done that too. Luca's not like he's guilty of that too. So, I mean, hopefully things turn around for the Mavericks again. And again, Trey Young, he's a great player. He's gonna find a way. He shouldn't complain because he's doing fine. But in general, that's just what it is. As far as that rule change. So that was the standings and kind of a few things about the NBA. We're gonna kind of get to the main stuff for today, which is the NFL standings and kind of our predictions for the remainder of the season. And once again, gentlemen in the chat, Emmanuel and Andres, if you want to come up and speak to us a little bit, you're more than welcome to. Just raise your hand and I'll invite you up. But I'm just right now we're just gonna kind of go over the overall standings as far as the NFL is concerned. As far as the NFC, and we're gonna kind of go a little bit by division for the most part. So the Cowboys are leading their division 5-1, and I know for the most part everyone's been saying for the past few years, well the NFC East is weak, and yeah, that's true, but the Cowboys have been playing some very good football. We cannot deny that. Granted, it remains to be seen when they face teams like the Chiefs and other teams that they're going to be facing in these upcoming weeks. But I think the Cowboys are a better team than they have been. But it doesn't mean that we should, already say Super Bowl, because there's a lot of Cowboys fans that do that shit, and I'm not about that life.
Nah,
Um,
man. I was like, until we get to the NFC Championship and win, then we'll say yes, we're going to the Super Bowl. But
yeah,
one game at a time, man. One game at a time. I'm not saying you can't talk shit, but what I'm saying is don't don't get ahead of ourselves saying we're going to the Super Bowl. No, 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 no. Until we make it through the postseason and win the NFC Championship game, then you can truly say we're going to the Super Bowl. That's like I said, going to the Super Bowl. That's every team's dream. So we're not special. So stop.
yeah, exactly. Well, and just in general, I'm not about shit talking for the reason that, like, if your team cannot back up their shit talk, then why are you talking shit at all? Like, that's just my opinion. I get it. People do that anyway, but I don't know. That's just how I see it. The Washington football team, I don't know what name they're going to go with moving forward, but that is who they are for now, the Washington football team.
I think they're
Uh,
gonna stay like. I have a feeling they may just stay like that, man.
the football
Part,
team.
yeah, I just feel that they're gonna be the one team in the league that doesn't have a mascot. Just stay like that. Who knows, man? That's just my feeling, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. Just or maybe they just called the Washingtons. No sé.
No.
That'd be stupid, but kind of funny. Okay, so the Eagles are kind of tied with them, but I think the Washington football team beat the Eagles. Yeah, the Eagles have been struggling, so have the Giants. So yeah, the East, NFC East has been pretty weak, but I'm kind of glad to see the Cowboys still doing well despite that. The Cardinals and the Rams have been very good this season. Cardinals, I think they've had some struggles of late, but they've still managed to win most of their games.
I know, man. But watching that game against Green Bay, kudos to Green Bay. They were able to finally get the Cardinals. But in a way, I feel the Cardinals kind of slipped towards the end. They should have won that game, but it is what it is. So they're still a dangerous team. So we got to be careful.
Oh yeah, I mean the Packers are no slouches, dude. Like when you have Aaron Rodgers as your quarterback, I mean it's not a thing. Like he can make anything work, and
Mm,
with Randall Cobb back with that chemistry, it's been working well on that. I mean, there's still some. I mean, because I think they got an injured wide receiver. I think it's Devontae Adams, if I'm not mistaken. He got injured recently.
mm.
So he's out. I mean, so that's going to be kind of a struggle for them. But overall, Aaron Jones has been playing very well.
Yeah, he
UTEP
has.
alum.
Yeah, he's been balling, man.
Yeah, he has been. And then the Rams have been also very good. Yeah, they're no slouches. Like there a lot of these teams that I'm naming are very good overall. With very good home and away records. The 49ers have been, I don't know, they've been back and forth this year. And the Seahawks, with the loss of Russell Wilson, obviously they're going to be a struggling team. And I think with the 49ers, I think they're going to move on from Garoppolo. I don't know what happened to him, dude. Like he seemed to be like the future, and then he just fell off. So that's very sad to see. And then the
Mm,
Packers, of course, we just mentioned them. They're doing well. The Vikings, we actually face the Cowboys actually face them this weekend. They've been middle of the pack, nothing really spectacular. They've had some moments, but I don't know, man. It's just like Kirk Cousins to me is kind of like Tony Romo. Like he has all these numbers, but he can't really do much with it. He just nothing works for him.
yeah, man. I don't know what's going on with some quarterbacks. There was so much hype behind them, like with him, Cousins, and Carson Wentz. At least the last two, it's like, and then I guess Garoppolo a little bit. They they were so hyped up. I was like, man, these guys are gonna be killer. And then ever since they got into the league, it's like they just can't seem to get over the hump in the playoffs, or got hurt or something. It's just like, man, what's going on?
Yeah,
And
with
so
Wentz, it's way worse, man. I feel bad for Carson
I,
Wentz, dude.
I do too, because like he got like the year that was it 2016 when was it 2016 that the Eagles won the Super Bowl?
Hmm.
Yeah, that's right. He got them through the entire
Oh
freaking
wait,
season, and most
wait. Let me double check
was it.
before I
Let
say
double
something
check because
stupid.
I may be thinking of somebody else. I apologize. It could have been, was it 2017 or 2018? Man, I can't believe I forgot. My bad. But that
Oh,
season where
2018. We were 2 years
okay, it was
off.
sorry, 2018. I'm sorry. So in 2018, uh, Carson Wentz got them through the entire freaking season, most of the postseason up until he got injured, and then uh, and then what's his name? Foles was able to take him in and finish it off and winning the Super Bowl. So I felt bad for Wentz. It's like, dude, he was, if he hadn't gotten injured, he probably would have won that game. But ever since then, it's just he just can't seem to find a break in
I mean, I think
six.
he's been back for these past couple of games with the Indianapolis Colts, but again, this is just not a very good team overall. I mean, they have
I
some
know.
sparks, but it's overall it's not a very good team. And hopefully, with more time and just better building of the team. Oh, I'm sorry, Emmanuel. Sorry if we didn't get a chance to talk, but thank you for coming on and listening. Um, but yeah, I just think this is not a team that's ready yet. Hopefully, with time and building of chemistry and just better, hopefully better management, I think the Colts will find some way to get Carson Wentz in a better spot. Hopefully, that's my hope because
Yeah,
I really feel bad because when he was playing with the Eagles, like his first couple of years, he was doing really well up until his injuries, and that was just sad. I mean,
yeah,
he has a ring, but I just feel like he has so much more to give to the game, in my opinion.
yeah.
And then yeah, the Bears, they've been they looked good at the start, but then they just been garbage since then. And yeah, they got crushed by the Buccaneers. Oh my God, like poor Justin
Yeah,
Fields, that guy got
that was
destroyed.
terrible.
And then the
Yeah, that
Lions are back to their fucking losing ways. Yeah, the Lions are they're inconsolable. There's nothing that can be done. It doesn't
yeah,
matter who you put at quarterback. Nothing can be done.
I felt bad for Jared Goff, man. I didn't think that LA was going to make that kind of change. I mean, I'm happy for Matthew Stafford. They're doing
Yeah.
well. But it's like I thought McVay was going to stay with Goff, but I guess it just didn't work out with him. So I feel bad for Goff because he's a capable quarterback.
Yeah, and then as far as the NFC South, the Buccaneers, the champion no puedo hablar, híjole. Champion Buccaneers are 6-1.
Defending champs, yeah.
Yeah, defending champs are 6-1. So they're still got it. I think they're still pretty much geared to go back to the Super Bowl again. I mean, maybe not, but they have probably one of the better chances of making it back. The Saints surprisingly have been doing okay in their division. Um,
They got up to a strong start and then they start losing and they start losing a couple of games. I'm like, what the hell's going on? And then of course, Who Dat Nation. I got a lot of those guys at work. We're telling, hey man, what's going on? What's going on with Winston, man?
yeah,
Giving them crap just because they always talk the loudest. But I think they're turning it around, and I'm happy for Jameis Winston. I think he's finally found the team that works for him. Like I said, the 2 games they lost, they struggled, but I feel that I think he's finally found a place where I think he can unleash and
well, he kind
grow
of has
from
no
there.
choice at this point, bro. This is kind of his last fucking chance.
Well, I hope so. I mean, it's gonna be tough to replace, Drew Brees. Since, since that's one of the few quarterbacks the one quarterback they've known for the last what almost 20 years.
Maybe slightly less than that, but yeah, the
Or
majority of his
15
year.
maybe.
But overall,
Yeah.
yeah, dude, the Saints, yeah, it's hard to replace a fucking Hall of Fame quarterback like that. Yeah, that's hard. But yeah, let's see. The Falcons, it's just been weird. However, I have Patterson on my team, the running back there. He's been killing it. I'm glad I have him because I kind of scouted for my fantasy league in one league, and yeah, he's been a godsend. So I'm happy for that guy. But it's just I don't know. They're in a very weird stage from being like contenders a few years ago to being like middle of the pack, and then the Panthers. They're in a strange place. We don't know. Like there's some good things about them, and then there's not. There's some things that are not so good about them. So wait, did we? Oh yeah, we started with the NFC East.
And then the Panthers, don't forget the Panthers.
Yeah. I said the Panthers. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Disculpe. Okay, so now the AFC East. The Bills have been very good this year. Patriots have been kind of on and off. I mean
See,
they kept up with the Cowboys and the Buccaneers for the most part. So they're a pretty good team
I mean,
despite
yeah,
that.
yeah, this is still a hard thing to see because we were so used to the Pats being on top for the last, you know, 15 to 20 years. So yeah, it's like because Brady's not there anymore, but it's still like, wow, okay. Starting to like like this because the pass would always piss me off every time. But you still got Belichick there. He still knows what he's doing, even though they're struggling right now. So they're still a dangerous team if you let your guard down. So we'll see. But I'm really happy for the Bills. I know they lost a couple games, which I feel they should have won because they were really close to, like, against Tennessee. They should have won, but they
Yeah, dude,
slipped
that
up
was
in
a
the end.
crazy game, dude. That was so crazy. I was pissed though because the Titans kept like pulling Julio Jones out of the game, dude. If they had at least thrown the ball to him for a touchdown, bro, I could have won one of my games, like one of my weeks, dude. I'm so pissed because I only no in San Diego, dude. I only lost by 2 points. Wait, by 2 points. That's all I needed, and I fucking lost. I don't know. It's frustrating when you play fantasy. Sometimes it's fun, sometimes it's not. But and then the Jets and the Dolphins. It doesn't matter who the fuck is leading the AFC East. They're just they can't do anything, sadly. And the
Yeah.
Dolphins, I feel bad for Tua. I always forget how to pronounce it.
Yeah, I know the Dolphins can be way better than this, and I see potential in that quarterback that
Well,
they
but
have.
see, there's been some issues I think between the organization and Tua, so hopefully a bridge doesn't get broken there and he comes back because that would be unfortunate for the Dolphins. So I don't know, we'll see.
We've been through so
Uh,
many quarterbacks in the last few seasons. It's like, man, you got to find somebody.
yeah, and then in the AFC West, we got the Raiders and the Chargers leading the charge on this. So the Chiefs, although they are 3-4, I still have a feeling they're going to turn it around. I know it's been a struggle. The offensive line hasn't been good like last year. Um, and but I still think the Chiefs are going to be a contender.
Mm,
We shouldn't count them out yet. But
Porto.
the Raiders have done well, and of course, even with the firing of John Gruden, I think they're still going to be a good team.
Yeah, this is a disappointment with John Gruden because he was a really good coach when he won with Tampa Bay. What, 2000?
Yeah, dude, he just kept little by little, he kept fucking his legacy, dude. I
Mm,
that's so
well,
disappointing, dude.
I know it is, man, because he's very knowledgeable of the game. He knows what he's talking about. When remember he was a commentator and all that. And to come back to coaching is like, oh, cool. We get to actually see him coach, like, because we don't remember him
Yeah, but then
that
his
much. That was
emails, yeah, those emails fucked him over. He shouldn't like this is why you got to be careful what you say, man. Cuz like
yeah,
that shit comes back to haunt you. Uh
especially when you're uh, uh, a well-known, I guess, public figure is the term. Yeah,
well, but
yeah.
even then, dude, like you got to know that some of the shit you say carries weight.
Well, of course, because yeah. But I mean, they were struggling a little bit, but who knows, man? Because how, look, we all both know how much of a hard ass he is when it comes to like coaching, but maybe it was a little too much to where maybe it soured the locker room, and of course that leak of the emails didn't help. But look at them now. I just feel Carr seems to be, I don't know, he doesn't seem to be like stressed. He just seems to be just playing, being
Yeah,
himself and just
he's
playing.
a little bit more free to do as he
Yeah,
pleases.
it's like
Yeah.
he doesn't have that pressure of Gruden because Gruden was hesitant about Carr, and Carr had to work his ass off to remain the quarterback. And I guess with him gone and the assistant now taking over, he just seems to be him. So
And I
I
don't
wish him
think,
the.
yeah, I wish him the best too. I don't think Carr is a bad quarterback, dude.
No,
I
he's
think he's a
not.
very good quarterback. It's just, yeah, it's just a lot of issues within that organization. And then the Chargers have been a very interesting surprise this season. I was not expecting. They gave a lot of teams a run for their money. So yeah,
Yeah, I feel that ever since both LA teams have come back, both teams that have come back to LA, the Chargers and the Rams, they've been electrifying this season, like more so than last season. Because what was it, almost 30 years? I think like 27 years that LA had no pro football. And then both of these teams come back and look at it. They're just living it up, man. So I'm
yeah,
happy for both LA teams.
yeah. And then the Broncos are 3-4 at the current moment. So I mean, they're one of those teams that is still up in the air. I think Bridgewater was the quarterback at one point, right? Or is he still, or is he injured? I can't remember.
Last time I heard, I thought he was injured. I could be mistaken, but
Well, I mean, I wish the best for Teddy Bridgewater because when he was with the Saints, he was playing very well.
yeah, he was trying, man. He was really pushing.
And then a surprising deal is the Bengals.
Yeah,
Burrow
man.
has been playing very well. I'm glad the Bengals are kind of back in a good spot. The Ravens, again, the Ravens are going to be a very good defensive team no matter what. So they're also pretty good. The Browns, I mean, it's kind of sucks because, oh my God, why am I forgetting his name? I had him as,
Mayfield.
yeah, Mayfield, Baker Mayfield. I don't know why I couldn't remember his name for a second. I had him as my backup on one of my leagues at one point, but then he got injured. So yeah, Baker Mayfield has played very well. But then he got injured, so it's gonna be remaining to be seen how they do it. But I think they get Jarvis Landry back. To,
I, I'm getting frustrated with some. Look, they got up to a really strong start, and yeah, they had a bit of a rough the last 3 games, and it was tough. It was tough, but I mean, Baker Mayfield was trying, dude. It's like, dude, they're winning games. I know he's not the best. He's got a long ways to go, but there's so much shit going Baker Mayfield's way. It's like, dude, you got to give him a shot. It's like, dude, you saw the strong start he had.
oh,
You
and
see the potential.
and then also like what else? What else do you fucking want? Like this is probably the best quarterback you guys have had in eons. Like let's fucking be real here. Like don't you guys have no fucking right to complain considering how shitty your team has been without Baker Mayfield for so
I
long.
mean, it's like, dude, he's not Tom Brady. It's like we know that, but he's better than a lot of the other quarterbacks, like you said, have had. And dude, there's a lot of guys like fucking Stephen A. Smith just hounds on Mayfield. It's like, dude, back off, dude. You got it. I
Yeah, Stephen
mean,
A. Smith has just he's an entertainer. He's not even an analyst,
I
or if he
know.
ever
I
was, you know.
I know. It's like, dude, the way he gets all riled up against certain things, especially against Michael Irvin.
Yeah.
I love.
Okay, so that
I love.
that's funny and that's entertaining, but yeah, I'm a
I'm
little
just
tired
saying,
of
man.
his antics. Like
I know.
if you're gonna be real, be fucking real, dude. Keep
I
it
know.
100.
I know. It's like, look, Michael Irvin is a former player, so he knows. He knows a lot of stuff. Yeah, does he get riled up and always supports his team? Of course. I mean, that's his team. He played for him. He has 3 championships with them. It's just, it's funny, but yeah, just the way he acts sometimes. It's like, dude, it just doesn't seem authentic. It's like he's just doing it for the camera and acting a fool. I mean, it's like, dude, but dude, he hounds on Mayfield hard. I was like, man, back off on him, man. It's like, dude, he's trying. Yeah, it's been rough the past few seasons ever came into the league, but he's this is the best start he's had ever since he's joined. You got to give him a shot. Yeah, he's hurt, but compared to what we've seen Browns do in the last, 20 years that we've come to see him, this is a big improvement. So you
Oh yeah,
got to
most
give.
definitely.
So
Yeah,
I
people
don't
need to
know.
stop complaining because, like, again, what more can you do at this point? The Browns have been better than they've been, so y'all
It's
need to shut the
progress,
fuck up.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's
again, it's
progress.
like when we talked about UTEP on the other podcast a couple of Tuesdays ago. Like, be happy that they're fucking winning, dude. This is better than they've been in a while. You gotta give credit where it's due.
Mm.
So I don't know. And then the Steelers, they've just been, yeah. This has got to be Ben Roethlisberger's last year. Like I'm tired of his old giant ass being on the fucking field. Get his ass out of there. He should have retired 3 years ago and said away. Get that
I
fucker out of
know,
here.
yeah. Yeah, dude, it's he just is not the same, man. I mean, it's been rough, and he's got 3 titles with them. It's just
I think two. You mean two? He
uh,
he went
oh,
to
two.
he
Sorry,
has
sorry,
three
two.
appearances but two titles.
That's right, two. But he's a pretty big guy for a quarterback. He almost looked like a freaking. He looks like a freaking linebacker. That's why I'm
Or
like, wow.
lineman. He looks like a lineman, a
Yeah,
quarterback
and
with a lineman's body.
that's true. Yeah, never saw a big guy like that ever play a quarterback. It's like, and he's been good, but now it's like he's just got to the point where I think, bro, you've done your time. I don't think you have anything left in the tank. So yeah, it. it's time for him to go and get someone new. I think Tomlin needs to look at getting someone with fresh legs as at the quarterback position because they're just not going anywhere, sitting at 500. And I'm sure the wife's not happy either.
Pues jubilarse, güey. Fucking retire. Like,
Yeah, why? I'm sure the wife's not happy about it.
nah, en serio, güey, salte. I'm, I'm tired of seeing that guy. Like, he's been around, and it's like, you guys are not helping your franchise keeping him there. Like, I get it. He's been your franchise quarterback, and he's your Hall of Fame quarterback. But at this point, he's done. Like,
Yeah, man.
he should have been benched last year.
Yeah,
Um,
man. He's not Tom Brady, man. Tom Brady is just like those one in a million guys, to be his age and still performing well.
because he keeps his health good, man.
Well,
That was
that
bad
too.
grammar. He keeps his health up. He works out and he's healthier because he has a better diet, a better regimen. So that's
And
why
yeah,
it's like LeBron. Those two are very regimented in the way they do things, and that's why
that
they've been able to maintain.
and that too, but I think, for someone of Brady's age, because of all the success he's had, he's just all that it helps. But I think the most part, dude, is he's having fun. He has no pressures, no nothing. He's just being himself and playing. A lot of these older guys, when they get there, they're. I think they still have that pressure and stress. Like, man, I gotta win. I gotta win. I gotta stay up, and that stress gets them. I just feel I look at Brady, like he's got no stress whatsoever. He's just having fun for his age and just playing for the love of the game. I don't know. I don't know. That's I had an interesting conversation with someone. They were talking about that. Like, well, I guess I can see that. Not everyone, when they get to that age, you know, does it for the fun, or they forget to have fun. Anyway, I don't
Pero la última vez, retírate, güey. Retire.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's just like not everyone's the same. Yeah.
I'm not a fan of Big Ben. I mean, granted, yes, he's a Super Bowl Hall of Fame champion. I don't like the guy. Anyhow, the Titans and the AFC South, they're leading. I mean, when you got pretty much a fucking phenomenon like Derrick Henry, like he's the guy. I mean, and not to say that Ezekiel Elliott is not one of those players. He's a great running back, but I think Derrick Henry has shown to be a lot more explosive and a lot more powerful than Ezekiel Elliott is at the moment. I mean, and granted, running backs are one of those players in the league that it takes one injury to fuck them up and slow them down. But even
They're
then, dude,
workhorses, man.
yeah, no, but oh wait, fucking Derrick Henry, bro. I saw a clip of him running like when he like scored a touchdown. I forget what team, but dude, it looked like he made everyone else go in slow motion. In serio way, he
Hmm.
defied the laws of physics because I just see him run, and it looks like the guy's running pretty fast. But then, even though he was running fast, it looked like his body slowed down, even with the movement. But
Well,
but Derrick Henry just
yeah,
boom, 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 boom. I'm like, dude, what is this guy?
I just watched Henry, and he doesn't seem to me. He's not that fast, but he'll run you over, dude, if you get in his way. I mean, I've seen him. Yeah, I've watched him play. Like, he's not the fastest guy, but yeah, he can go. He
Dude, he's a
can really
super
go.
soldier, man. That's what he is. He took that super serum. He's the
Yeah.
real Captain America.
No, dude, I'm happy for Tennessee. It's been a minute since we've seen him this good. And Tannehill, I'm happy for him. He seems to be doing really well there. I mean, despite
Yeah,
the yeah, man, it's really good to see Tennessee, because I've always, being the former Houston Oilers and all that, it's like I'm glad they're doing well. So we'll see what the season holds.
yeah. And then, like we said, the Colts with Carson Wentz. I mean, they're on a 2-game win streak, so it's good to see that the Colts are actually doing okay. But again, they're still not at that level that they need to be. Maybe it turns around. We'll see. The Jaguars and the Texans. I mean, it sucks, dude, because I feel now, like looking at everything that has happened to the
Yeah.
Jaguars, dude, I think that one season they had was their chance. That was their chance. It's going to be a long time before the Jaguars are good again. That was their one chance to get to the Super Bowl, and they almost had Brady, dude. Like, I'm not going to go too much into it, but there is a call that I think that should not have happened, that could have given the Jaguars
Yeah,
a
I
chance.
know.
But ni modo, dude. It is what it is. And then the
Well,
Texans, dude. The Texans are just, uh, They're just, they're the new Browns at this point.
Yeah, dude, it's been a freaking roller coaster, for the last 12 seasons ever since they came in. Ever since Houston decided to bring a new team in, it's just, man, I want them to succeed, but it's just been so dysfunctional as far as their seasons go. It's like, man, what can be done? But I don't know, man. The owner has to figure out how to get his front office to make the right moves. So, yeah, I can only wish the best for a lot of teams, man. But for the most part, it's been a very interesting season. And like I said, I'm glad my Cowboys are doing well. But to see other teams that were struggling for a long time and teams making improvements that have been struggling, it's nice to see. It's refreshing. So, being now halfway through the season, I'm looking forward to the second part of it and seeing what's going to happen as far. And when we get to the postseason, it should be very interesting who's going to go against who. So I'm excited.
Yeah, so as far as the standings go, like this is at least by conference. If the playoffs started today, let's see if it will give me an image if the playoffs started today. So if the playoffs started today, we would have the Bengals in first, the Raiders in second, the Titans in third, the Bills in fourth, the Ravens in fifth, Chargers in sixth, and Browns in seventh. So those would be the teams that would be in if the playoffs started today. But as
I
far
like that picture.
it's an interesting picture. But as far as the people outside looking in, the Steelers, the Patriots, the Colts, the Chiefs. So if anything, of course, I see the Chiefs making a run and sneaking in, and I think they sneak in because I mean the Chargers have been doing good, but I don't expect them to continue this. I think they're good, but I don't think they're at that level just yet. So I think if anything, if Mayfield comes back, I think the Browns can make a push and be the sixth seed. And then the Chiefs come back in and be the seventh. Like, okay, you could probably put the Chiefs or the Browns at sixth or seventh. But who knows? Maybe the Browns fall off. But overall, I don't see the top five teams faltering. Well, maybe the Raiders and the Bills a little bit, but I don't think they drop that far. I mean, if anything, they drop to third and fifth or something like that. But even then, I just don't see them slowing down. So
Uh,
those, at least that from that's concerned. What do you think?
I mean, I could definitely see the Chiefs coming back into that lineup for sure. The question is who would be knocked out, and I'm guessing probably the Browns if they don't turn it around or try to stay afloat for sure. So I can see that. Noticed. So in the playoff, I guess I never really paid attention to it. There's only 7 spots in the NFL for each conference, not 8. Okay.
No, it's seven because again, there's remember the wild card game.
Right, of course. Yeah, I guess I'm just so used to the NBA being 8 and 8.
Yeah,
So I was
because
like,
remember, because you have the wild card and then you have the number one team with a bye week, pretty much.
hmm,
Because yeah, they pretty much because since they won the conference, they get the chance to have that bye week and
of
get the
course.
advantage. Not always does that work in everyone's favor because their history, especially our Cowboys, we've seen it where they've had a week off and then they still lose.
Yeah.
But let's see. As far as right now, the Packers, I mean, again, they've been doing well, and they're number one at the current moment. Then the Cardinals, and the Buccaneers, and the Cowboys, the Rams, the Saints, the Vikings. Now, as far as the teams outside looking in, I can possibly see the the Washington football team and possibly the Falcons. Those are the only two teams I could see making a push. It's more likely though the Falcons because the Vikings have been a very strange team. If anything, I think the Vikings, if anything, they might fall out, and the Falcons might come in and take that, and they might end up being the seventh seed. The Rams, I foresee them going up to the third seed. Cowboys, I think they can remain at fourth. Like they could be from fourth to second if they play their cards right. Like if they play the cards right and the best they can get is the second seed. But the worst they could be is the 4th seed at this point. So we'll see.
Which is not terrible. Um, I still I still feel don't count Carolina out. I think they may work through their issues and maybe creep up into it. Um, I think they will probably creep up into it more than the Bears will. The Falcons, yeah, I could probably see them still doing
Yeah,
it.
I don't see the Bears doing it. Like Justin Field, I think he kind of he kind of
he
got his ass handed to him, and I mean I hope the
he
best for him, but I just don't foresee him bouncing back at least in this season.
yeah, man.
He'll be okay, but I don't think he'll bounce back to where they get into the playoffs. I think
Yeah, man. The Bears are not the Bears. So
yeah, they looked good at the outset, but then yeah, everything just fell apart after that.
yeah, ever since Dalton got hurt, man, that game he just got plowed. I'm just like, oh.
Yeah, that was unfortunate.
I feel bad for Dalton, man. He just doesn't seem to catch a break. It's like everywhere he goes, he tries and tries and tries, and it doesn't seem to happen. The only time I saw him like consistent and good was when he was with Cincinnati. But even then, it's like, damn, what's going on?
He had a okay. I'll admit he had a good little run when he was with the Cowboys. Like near the end of the season, he was doing okay.
He was trying, but it's just, I just
Yeah,
don't think, I just guess he just wasn't the fit
yeah.
for the Cowboy system. And it's just like, bro, us gingers have it rough.
En serio,
Anyway,
güey. Es que you have no
anyway.
souls. No tienes alma, cabrón. Es un chiste,
Oh, that
güey.
will never die, will it?
No, it probably won't. But yeah, I just think so yeah, that's just kind of how I see the standings shaping out near the end of it. As far as early predictions on who gets out of each conference or who at least meets in the conference championships, like if we go off of the premise right now, I see it being possibly if the Chiefs make a run at it again, because again, I don't foresee them being down like this forever. It could either be the Chiefs, the Titans, or the because the Bills and the Raiders, I'm still not entirely certain about the Raiders. They're doing good, but I'm not entirely certain. I'd have to see maybe a couple more games before I'm more confident in them. So it'll either be the Chiefs, the Titans, or the Bills going into the AFC Championship. It could be between the Chiefs and the Titans or the Chiefs and the Bills. And we might see for the first time in a
Mm.
while, probably because I mean the Bengals are playing great, but again, I don't foresee this maintaining. I
Oh, see. Well, I
maybe
mean,
it does, and
maybe it does. Yeah.
but
But to
I
see the Bills back in the AFC Championship, I haven't seen that. We haven't seen that since the 90s, man.
dude,
So,
that would be very sad if they made the Super Bowl and lost again. That would be
oh,
so
man.
fucking sad.
Like, oh, dude, that would be sad. But let's
I mean,
see.
if anything, it's just dependent because if the Bills make the Super Bowl, depending on who faces them, if it's against the Buccaneers, I'm gonna go for the Bills. I'm gonna go for the Bills because I want the Bills to at least get one, and I don't want Brady to win another one. I mean,
Yeah,
it's
yeah,
no offense to him, but I'm tired of it. I want someone else to
yes,
win.
yeah, I know. It's like, yeah, man, just like, bro, it's like allow some other people to come up now. Hey, imagine this. Where's the? Do you know where the Super Bowl is going to be held?
No me recuerdo, güey. Let me see.
I'm just
Uh,
curious about because I just noticed something, and this is just a big hypothetical. You got the Rams in one division and one conference, and the Chargers in another. Imagine if they freaking just surprised everyone, and both freaking
oh,
LA
Los
teams went to the Super.
Angeles.
Ah, dude, even better. Imagine if both LA teams just were to just like blow everyone away, and both LA teams played in Los Angeles. How crazy would that be?
Bro, I don't know. I'd be beside myself if that was the
It
case.
just, I'm just saying because I know both LA teams are doing really good. And if they were to keep it up and go all the way to the conference championships and win, and then both LA teams play in the Super Bowl in LA, that would be fucking, I don't know. I'd just be I don't know my mind would be blown right there. I'd
Okay,
be like, that would have made my year.
ahorita me voy a decir algo muy inapropiado, güey. I'm gonna say something very inappropriate, but whatever. If that
Okay.
happens, dude, LA is gonna fucking come themselves, boy. I swear to God, bro.
I
Like
know. I agree with that.
that would that would be the biggest circle jerk for all LA fans. En serio, way. Like what else? Like the LA media would be in themselves.
Bro, I mean, I'm just saying it. I was just thinking about it. I'm looking at this like, LA, the Super Bowl in LA. Both LA teams are doing good. I mean, I'm saying it's just hypothetical, but it just went through my mind. It's like, that would be the freaking event of the century.
Maybe so, maybe not. Because a lot of people would be like, they. I don't know. I could see where you're coming from that, but yeah.
it, it's just, stranger things have happened. It's like, that would be something. Because has there been any team that has ever played the Super Bowl in their home stadium? That would be crazy, because dude, that every freaking person, whatever home team.
Wait a minute, because wait a minute. Didn't the Buccaneers play in Tampa last year?
Uh,
I could have sworn they did. Well, let me see.
I never paid attention to where the Super Bowl is hosted sometimes. So you could be right. I don't recall.
Let's see. Hold on. Déjame ver. Where was it? So it was in February 7th, 2021.
More about the game. Let's see.
Yeah, it was at
Oh
Raymond.
shit! You're right.
Yeah, so they did. That was the first team that won. So yeah, no, that has happened. So that was last year.
Yeah. Okay. I feel like a dumbass. Yeah. Wow. Yeah. So Tampa Bay won the Super Bowl in their home stadium. That's never happened before. But this would be the ultimate. I'm just saying. I know I'm going on this, but the ultimate event for two home teams to play at home in the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. But I don't see
Anyway,
it happening.
sorry.
No. I see what you're saying, but I don't see it happening because like the Rams are good, but again, they still have to get through the Packers and the Buccaneers. The Cardinals, I think, are good, but I just don't think they're good enough comparatively to the Buccaneers and the Packers. But yeah, we said okay. So as far as the AFC, we said between the Titans, Bills, and Raiders, possibly the Chiefs. So those would be the only four teams I could see making the AFC Championship. And then as far as in the NFC, we got the Packers, the Cardinals. So let's see. I think it would be between the Packers and Buccaneers again, probably. I'm still not 100% certain about the Cowboys. Because again, there's always something, dude. Like they always look like there's always years where they're just either super mediocre and they barely make the playoffs, super mediocre and they don't make the playoffs, or they look very good in the season and then they just choke in the postseason. So I don't know. I have to see something happen. I have to see the Cowboys win the first playoff game and see what happens from there. Like I could foresee them being the third seed, but I think I don't know. I almost think the Rams have a slightly better chance than the Cowboys. Slightly. And again, this is early. I mean, I'm again, I always hope that the Cowboys do well, but I've just seen so much shit happen to them in the past that I cannot 100% with certainty say that they would be in the NFC Championship. So I would say the Packers, the Buccaneers, the Cardinals, or the Rams. Those would be the four teams I'd see, with the Cowboys being a very close outlier. They would be, in my opinion, I think they would be the dark horse team.
Right. Well, they have to prove us wrong, and if Jerry Jones has been, staying quiet as an owner should, and getting out of his coaching staff's way to allow him to do what you hire them to do, then I could see them. Yeah, they're gonna do it. But like I said, we're at the halfway point of the season. This is where they really have to prove everybody wrong. Is the second part of the season.
Yeah, because if they could beat the Chiefs, dude, if they could beat the Chiefs, which a lot of people are saying, it's not that big a deal right now. Well, which no, I disagree, because the Chiefs are still a pretty dangerous team. Because again, they were the runner-up. So if they can beat the Chiefs in convincing fashion, then I think the Cowboys have a chance.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I know Mahomes is struggling, but they don't count him down and out. You still got to go. You still got to get through them. So,
Yeah, so I mean, we'll see what happens and what unfolds. Those are kind of like the postseason predictions as far as like the power rankings at the current moment. Like you have the Cardinals at number one. They were number one last week, and they're about to play the Packers. Oh no, wait, was this last week?
yeah, they already played the Packers.
Yeah, and
So
they lost. So I mean, even then, the Buccaneers were ranked number three. Buffaloes are now number three. They were. The Cowboys have stayed the same again because I mean they were pretty much on the bye week at this point. The Rams are number five. They were ranked number seven. The Packers are ranked number six. Bengals are ranked number seventh, jumping four spots up. That's pretty good. The Ravens have kind of fallen down a bit. Chargers fell down a spot. So I mean, a lot of the teams we just mentioned, I think have probably some of the bigger chances. The Bengals, I'm still a little bit uncertain about. Like they're doing good, but I don't foresee them staying at the number one spot. If they do, I'll be surprised, and I'll shut the fuck up when that happens. But as far as like that's concerned, um, yeah, that's just kind of what I see happening within the postseason. As far as award ceremonies, I mean, I don't think I'm gonna do that yet because I still have to see players on an individual level. We might consider talking about that next week as far as individual accolades of who might win awards. So
like top defensive, offensive stuff like that.
yeah, MVP and all that shit. We might look into that. We just have to kind of see who's leading like in the top three or five in each category and see who we think might win it.
Mm.
So yeah, we'll think about that next week because we like I said, I only have like 30 minutes left. So we'll see. Andres has been waiting very patiently and just listening. So we thank you very much, Andres, for that. If you're wishing to come speak to us, you're more than welcome to raise your hand, and we'll kind of have a conversation with you if you like. If you want to kind of give your opinions on what we said, if you have disagreements, and it's totally fine if you do, because again, I don't claim to be the most knowledgeable. I claim to only know what I see, what's in my sphere of things, what I have heard, what I've read. So I kind of go off of that basis. And I know again, I kind of use the screen when I'm doing the video recordings, and then the audio recordings I place on Anchor and all that. So it depending on where you're listening. I mean, I know Andres is listening through the Spotify Greenroom app. But yeah, if you're interested in talking to us, you're more than welcome to come up. We would love some engagement from anybody, really. I might send another invite on Twitter again just to see if anybody else wants to come talk for a moment, but it's no problem. Right now, I just kind of want to, I don't know, talk about a few more things. Oh yeah, some anuncios. I forgot to mention a few things. On this upcoming Tuesday, we're not gonna have a UTEP Tuesday this upcoming week because I have to pick up another shift at my other job because a coworker's relative has passed away. So I'm just trying to, you know, be accommodating and kind of help there. But we'll try and see if we can come back on next week. That'll be after the UTEP and UTSA game, and we'll kind of talk some points about how all that went down. And I think UTEP does play today against Florida Atlantic,
Yes,
so
they do.
we'll see how that goes. Um, but yeah, we'll kind of see how that goes. I'm excited for UTEP this season again, and we'll see how everything goes. And then also hopefully with the NCAA basketball season approaching for both men's and women's, we'll talk a little bit more about that. But right now, that's really all I wanted to talk about. I'm glad we got through at least a good amount of this. Oh, and yeah, another thing. I've forgotten to say this for the past two episodios. Mi gente, mi hermano tiene dos videos nuevos en su canal. He has two new videos on his channel, and they are gaming. He's been playing Resident Evil. I think it's like the remastering of one of the original ones, right? Or is it a new one completely?
No, it's a remaster.
Yeah, and that I think is freaking amazing. Like, and it looks really good. Like you really should give his stuff a watch. And he's pretty funny, man. Like he he has some shit that just makes me laugh, dude. Because dude, what's funny is like you trying to navigate it. You're like, huh. is how does this work? Let's see. Hmm. And then when you get caught off guard, fuck! It's just.
Well, I mean, Resident Evil, I gotta give Capcom some credit. Dude. They make it. They make some awesome puzzles that you have to solve, and I use your you got to use your brain, man, and that's what I like about
Usa tu
those games.
mente, tu menudo, güey.
Tu menudo. Ah, man, but no, it's a work in progress. I mean, I want to get into this more, just create content, and then of course you and I do reaction videos. It's just trying to be consistent on when I record and then when I edit and post. I'm getting better at it. It's like
Claro, güey, claro. Yeah, of
it's
course.
like yeah, but no, man. Appreciate the support, of you guys, and then of course support what my brother does as well. I appreciate that too. He, with this podcast and other things, it's like I said, you know, uh, we have the opportunity to do some stuff on our own when we want to do it. So yeah, we appreciate you guys just taking a look, supporting, and giving us some suggestions and recommendations for other things that we can look into.
Claro. Y también, mi gente, en mi página de Anchor, puedes donar $1. It would help us very much. Si pueden apoyarnos, if you can help us and support us in donating at least $1 on our Anchor channel, on my Anchor page, just so I can try to build and do a little bit more. Because hopefully I'm trying to at least get something so I could get better equipment and just overall better setup. Because what I do now is it's not bad, but it could always be improved. But I'm definitely glad that we had this chance to do this, and hopefully we get a little bit more engagement in the future. I know some people are a little bit hesitant to speak, but it's fine. If you want to come and join us at a later time on another episode, you're more than welcome to. But I want to at least thank Andres Vera for listening to us, and because that really, it's really appreciated. I want to make certain that we try to provide content for you all that you enjoy, and hopefully, again, like you're more than welcome to come talk to us. Don't ever feel shy. Like, we're very friendly people. Somos muy amables y simpáticos.
Claro
Okay,
que sí.
ándale pues, mi gente. That's really all I had for today. Suscríbete a mi canal y hasta la próxima, mi gente. Adiós, adiós, adiós.
Adiós.
Y también sigue a MarkTip25 en Spotify Greenroom, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram y TikTok.